Have you ever walked into a room feeling confident, ready to change your life, and walked out 10 minutes later doubting your own memory? Or maybe you promised yourself, this is the year. This is the year I get fit, write that book, or start that business. But 3 weeks later, the motivation is gone. The gym shoes gather dust, the notebook stays closed, and you feel like a failure. Again. We have all been there. We think the problem is us. We think, I'm just lazy, or I don't have enough willpower. But what if I told you that you are not the problem? The problem is your system. What if the difference between success and failure isn't about making massive changes overnight, but about doing something so small you might not even notice it? Today, we are going to break down the book that has changed millions of lives, Atomic Habits by James Clear. By the end of this video, you won't just have motivation, you will have a blueprint to reprogram your brain and build a life you actually love. To understand why this book matters, we first have to look at the author, James Clear. On the final day of his second year of high school, James was hit in the face with a baseball bat. It wasn't a small injury, it was devastating. He suffered a broken nose, skull fractures, and shattered eye sockets. He was placed into a medically induced coma. When he woke up, his dream of becoming a professional baseball player seemed impossible. His recovery was slow. He couldn't drive. He had double vision. He felt depressed. 2 years later, he went to college. He didn't have a miracle recovery overnight. Instead, he focused on the only thing he could control, his tiny daily habits. While his friends stayed up late playing video games, James built a sleep routine. He kept his room neat. He started lifting weights, just a little bit, consistently. He didn't aim for a massive transformation. He just tried to get 1% better. 6 years later, that kid who was in a coma was selected as the top male athlete at his university and named an academic All-American. He didn't perform magic, he simply mastered the art of the atomic habit. An atom is a tiny particle, extremely small, but it is also the building block of everything in the universe. That is what a habit is, a small behavior that creates massive power. So how do we build them? Let's dive into the first and perhaps most famous lesson of the book. Imagine a professional cycling team that was so bad a bike manufacturer refused to sell them bikes because they didn't want their brand associated with losers. That was the reality for British cycling in the early 2000s. In 110 years, no British cyclist had ever won the Tour de France. They had won just a single gold medal at the Olympics since 1908. Then they hired a man named Dave Brailsford. Brailsford didn't say, we need to train 10 hours more a day. No, he believed in something called the aggregation of marginal gains. He looked for 1% improvements. They redesigned the bike seats to make them slightly more comfortable. They rubbed alcohol on the tires for better grip. They even hired a surgeon to teach the riders the best way to wash their hands to avoid catching a cold. They tested different pillows to see which one gave the riders the best sleep. They painted the inside of their team truck white just so they could spot little bits of dust that might get into the bike gears. It sounds ridiculous, right? Washing hands, painting trucks. But here is what happened. Just 5 years later, at the Beijing Olympics, the British team won 60% of the gold medals available. 4 years after that, they set 9 Olympic records. Here's the math, and this is the key takeaway for your life. If you get 1% better every day for 1 year, you will end up 37 times better by the time you're done. We often think success is about one big moment. We want the overnight success, but real change comes from the compound interest of self-improvement. Stop worrying about the goal. Forget the goal. Focus on the system. If you're a musician, your goal is to play a new song. Your system is how often you practice. If you're an entrepreneur, your goal is $1 million business. Your system is how you test product ideas and hire employees. James Clear says, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Okay, so we know small habits matter, but why do we quit them so easily? It's because we're trying to change the wrong thing. Imagine 2 people who are trying to quit smoking. Someone offers them a cigarette. The first person says, no thanks, I'm trying to quit. It sounds like a reasonable answer, right? But think about it. This person still believes they're a smoker who is trying to be something else. They're waiting for the moment they magically change. Now, the second person refuses the cigarette and says, no thanks, I'm not a smoker. It's a tiny difference, but it changes everything. This person has shifted their identity. James Clear explains that behavior change is like an onion. The outer layer is the outcome, what you get. I want to lose weight. The middle layer is the process, what you do. I will go to the gym. The center, the core, is your identity, what you believe. I am an athlete. The goal is not to read a book. The goal is to become a reader. The goal is not to run a marathon. The goal is to become a runner. When your behavior contradicts your identity, you will fail. If you view yourself as a lazy person who is trying to work out, you will eventually go back to being lazy because that is who you believe you are. Practical takeaway? Decide who you want to be, then prove it to yourself with small wins. Every time you write one page, you cast a vote for the identity of a writer. Every time you refuse a donut, you cast a vote for the healthy person. You are literally voting for the new you. So how do we actually install these habits? James Clear breaks every habit down into a 4-step loop: cue, craving, response, and reward. To build good habits, we need to hack this loop using the 4 laws of behavior change. Let's look at real-world examples of how to do this. Law number 1, make it obvious. A doctor named Anne Thorndike wanted to stop people from drinking so much soda in her hospital cafeteria. She didn't talk to anyone, she didn't ban soda. Instead, she changed the environment. She added baskets of bottled water to every food station. Originally, the fridges only had soda. Now, water was everywhere. Result? Soda sales dropped by 11%. Water sales shot up by 25%. People chose water not because they had more willpower, but because it was obvious. If you want to play guitar, don't hide it in the closet, put it in the middle of your living room. If you want to eat fruit, don't hide it in the fridge drawer, put it in a bowl on the counter. Be the architect of your environment, not the victim of it. Law number 2, make it attractive. A person on a stationary bike watching a movie. We are driven by dopamine. We love rewards. There was an engineering student in Ireland named Ronan Byrne. He loved watching Netflix, but he knew he needed to exercise, so he hacked his stationary bike. He wrote a program that would only play Netflix if he was cycling at a certain speed. If he slowed down, the movie paused. He was binge watching and burning calories at the same time. This is called temptation bundling. Pair an action you need to do with an action you want to do. Law number 3, make it easy. A clock ticking, a person putting on running shoes. This is my favorite rule. It's called the 2-minute rule. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Read before bed becomes read 1 page. Do 30 minutes of yoga becomes take out my yoga mat. There's a famous choreographer named Twyla Tharp. She works out for 2 hours every morning, but she says her habit isn't the workout. Her habit is the cab. The moment she puts on her sneakers and hails the cab, the habit is done. You must standardize before you can optimize. You can't improve a habit that doesn't exist, so make it so easy you can't say no. Law number 4, make it satisfying. 2 jars, 1 full of paper clips and 1 empty. We repeat what is immediately rewarded. There was a young stockbroker named Trent Drismed. He had a simple routine. Every morning he had 2 jars on his desk. One was filled with 120 paper clips, the other was empty. Every time he made a sales call, he moved 1 paperclip to the empty jar. He didn't stop until all 120 were moved. Within 18 months, he was bringing in $5 million for his firm. Why did this work? Because seeing the paperclips pile up was satisfying. It was visual proof of his hard work. Use a habit tracker. Put an X on the calendar. Give yourself an immediate reward. Make success visible. But what about bad habits? How do we stop scrolling social media or eating junk food? We simply invert the 4 laws. Make it invisible. If you can't stop checking your phone, leave it in another room. Out of sight, out of mind is real science. Make it unattractive. Highlight the benefits of avoiding the bad habit. Reframe it. You aren't giving up a cigarette, you are gaining your health back. Make it difficult. Increase friction. If you watch too much TV, unplug it after every use and take the batteries out of the remote. Make yourself work for it. Make it unsatisfying. Get an accountability partner. Create a contract. If you miss a workout, you have to pay your friend $50. Make the cost of your bad habit painful and immediate. Atomic Habits teaches us a profound truth. Success is not about a once-in-a-lifetime transformation. It's about 1,000 tiny choices. It's choosing water over soda. It's choosing to read one page instead of scrolling. It's choosing to vote for the person you want to become. Time will magnify whatever you feed it. Good habits make time your ally. Bad habits make time your enemy. So here is my challenge to you today. Do not try to change your whole life. Do not set a massive goal. Just pick one thing, one tiny habit. Use the 2-minute rule. Put your running shoes by the door. Put a book on your pillow. Do it today, and then do it again tomorrow. Because you don't need to be perfect. You just need to never miss twice. Thanks for watching. If you want to build better habits, hit that subscribe button. It's a tiny action that helps this channel grow. See you in the next one.